Flyberg, and this is my persuasive speech on distracted driving. Most people would agree that each and every life is a priceless thing. Sometimes life is taken for granted once someone enters the wheel of a car. People believe they are invincible and think an accident is unlikely to happen to them. Many people also believe that they are above average drivers. This confidence in their driving might be a reason why a lot of people try to multitask while behind the wheel. I want to inform people on the types of distracted driving, the laws of distracted driving, and the number of accidents caused by distracted driving. I'm interested in the subject because of a near-death experience that I had last summer. I want to prevent future experiences from happening to anybody else in the audience. When people are distracted by several things while driving, they are breaking the law and could be causing several accidents. There are several types of distracted driving. Eating and drinking are the most common of the types of distracted driving. Many people like to go through drive-thrus on their way out of town and eat on the interstate instead of sitting down and eat because they believe that it would save them lots of time. Another distraction, most commonly known, is using a cell phone. Texting while driving has become very popular, especially for teenagers. Most people like to text their boyfriends and girlfriends all day long instead of actually paying attention when they're behind the wheel. Talking on the phone is considered a slightly less distracting comparison to texting, but is still a distraction. Even using like a Bluetooth or Siri on your phone is still distracting and is not as safe as some people would believe. Another type of distraction is adjusting the radio or changing a CD are things that many drivers choose to do while driving, and that takes their eyes off the road. And most recently, with the invention of smartphones, people are now surfing the web while driving. Some people show their passengers a clip on YouTube or attractive girl on Facebook or what have you, and that's not safe to do. The laws on distracted driving have increased a lot over the years. The laws of distracted driving are being enforced more now, but it's still really hard to prove that someone was texting while they were behind the wheel. Washington was the first state to ban texting and driving in 2007. No state has totally banned the use of cell phones for all ages yet, though. Recently, North Dakota has passed a few laws against texting and driving. On August 1st, 2011, texting and driving has been banned, and a $100 fine is issued to a violator. North Dakota has become the 31st state to ban texting while driving. In the Bismarck Tribune a couple days ago, there's an article that says, people who are texting while driving are not paying attention and are just flat out not knowing what's going on around them. Those drivers are as dangerous to others on the road as intoxicated drivers. So they're comparing that texting while driving is considered buzz driving. Distracted driving causes several accidents. 11% of fatal crashes of 20-year-olds and below resulted from distracted driving. A main reason for accidents has been blamed on texting and driving. According to distraction.gov, it is 3 times more likely to crash if a person is texting behind the wheel than if they are just regularly driving. A quarter of teens respond to at least one text while they're behind the wheel, and texting has been the cause of 1.3 million crashes in 2011 alone. An average text takes a person's eyes off the road for 5 seconds. So if you are traveling at 55 miles per hour while texting, you will cover a whole length of a football field before looking up. The results of distracted driving are detrimental. The pain experienced from a distracted driving accident are not just physically painful, but emotionally as well. Many people believe that they're only affecting their own lives when they're texting behind the wheel, but that is not the case. They're affecting their passengers' lives and other drivers that are on the road. Because if you're not paying attention and you swerve and crash, you could potentially kill your passenger or kill oncoming drivers. Driving while distracted is not just harmful to yourself. People need to remember that. Many stories about texting and driving have been told to warn people of the dangers that come with the risk, but many people will actually listen. Several families and friends that have shared their testimonies about the people they've lost due to distracted driving are on the website Don't Text and Drive. A couple people are Dan and Wendy Lurch. They lost their daughter Heather at 19 years old due to texting and driving on February 23rd, 2010. Clay and Shauna Sauter lost their daughter Taylor at the age of 18 while she was surfing the web behind the wheel. A father lost his life due to being distracted. He doesn't remember, his other passenger doesn't remember when and why, because he was severely injured. Driving is a privilege and not a right. As a driver, a person has several things that could potentially be distracting while driving. Last summer, when one of my friends was behind the wheel, he decided to show me a picture of apparently attractive girl on Facebook. And the car was 300 some feet in front of us and braked to try to make his turn to a gravel intersection. And by the time he actually reacted, we were still going like 45 miles an hour and we were about to rear end the oncoming car. But after a couple swear words, he managed to swerve over to the right and avoid the crash, almost going into the ditch. So he potentially saved our lives there, I guess. And if someone is caught while texting or using their cell phone while driving, they could be fined and will have to take it up with the law. Distracted driving has caused millions of accidents worldwide. Several stories about the emotional trauma and the loss of loved ones have pushed for the movement to end distracted driving. No matter how experienced a driver is, a person's focus affects his or her driving. And then you have to ask yourself, is the text worth a life?